When I was little, the reason I wanted to become a priest is because my parents would read us a lot of saint stories. So often before dinner or before bed, they would read us a story of a saint. And so my favorite saints were always, these bold missionary priests that traveled to these far off lands to evangelize. And I wanted to be like them when I got older. And so when I was 9 years old, I was going to a parish mission at my home parish. And the priest there wasn't from my diocese, and he was actually a companion of the cross. His name was Father Tim Devine. He was an excellent preacher. He was an amazing worship leader, and he was funny and he was joyful. And I would just remember watching him and thinking, like, I want to be a priest like this guy. And so I went up and talked with him after the mission was done, and he was like, okay, what's with this 9-year-old coming to speak with me? And I said, I want to be a priest when I get older, Father. And he said something that really stuck with me, which I don't know if priests normally say this to 9-year-olds, but he was like, you're going to be a priest one day, and you should check out the Companions of the Cross. I actually wrote in my journal when I was 10 years old, today I've decided I'm going to become a Companion of the Cross priest. And to kind of seal the deal, I sent them a letter. I drew them a picture of this cross, because they were Companions of the Cross, and they were kind of kneeling in front of the cross, because I assumed that's what Companions of the Cross did. I didn't know too much about them. But I sent off this letter with $1.50 that I had saved from my allowance. And I did that, and I sent it in, and I said, look, I want to join your order. I want to be a priest when I get older. All right, it said, Dear Companions of the Cross, I am 9 years old. My name is Isaac Robert Longworth. I'm thinking of joining your order. I heard Father Tim Devine's mission. I think he is great because he is blind. He's a great piano player, and I love him. I work all week for an allowance, and I'm going to give $1.50 to your order. I'm homeschooled. God bless you, from Isaac Longworth. And then lo and behold, one day I showed up on their doorstep. And when I got to meet Father Tim, I was able to, meet him in person and chat with him again and remind him, like, hey, I'm that little 9-year-old kid that talked with you at that mission in Woodstock. So it's been pretty cool to become friends with him in the same community now. So I am in my 8th year with the Companions of the Cross. For me, it's going to be 9 years from start to end. I've only got a couple months till I'm ordained a deacon, and then about a year after that, I'll become a priest. My vocation went through several stages in order to get to the point where I am now, actually in formation to become a priest. As I got a little bit older, I started developing a relationship with the Lord more, especially going to kind of youth conferences and things like that. And every time that I was authentically speaking to the Lord and praying to Him, I was getting the sense that He was calling me, that He actually wanted me to do this. By the time I got to high school, I kind of was like, well, I will become a priest one day when I decide to, when I think it's right for me, I'll become a priest. But for right now, I am going to live my life. I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm going to party it up a little bit. And one day when I'm, more responsible, more mature, I'll settle down and become a priest. And later on, when I was in university, I had this powerful experience of going to confession and experiencing the mercy of God in a way that I hadn't done before. And it was so powerful that after that experience, when I was back in prayer with the Lord, He was able to remind me, Isaac, I still want you to be one of my priests. And from that moment, it was much more concrete. I was much more actively pursuing it, and eventually leading to me applying to the Companions of the Cross. The Companions stuck out to me for a couple of different reasons. One reason they really stuck out to me is because they live in community. And one of the biggest fears that I had about becoming a priest, because I had seen this in some priests I knew growing up, was that they lived almost in isolation. They did their things at the church, and then they went back home to their empty rectory, and that was their life. And that was not appealing to me at all. I like people. I have a lot of friends. I want to be with people. And so the idea of joining a brotherhood, the group of brothers that I can live with, that we can pray together, that we can build each other up, that we can, exhort each other or challenge each other. I also was really drawn to they had this like evangelical zeal, like this fire. When I went to conferences and Companions of the Cross preachers would be up on stage, they would be preaching with this authority, with this power that I hadn't heard before. Like, I want to be a priest like that when I get older. It was just really powerful to see a bunch of priests who were completely abandoned to the Holy Spirit, that were open to using the power gifts of the Holy Spirit, that their worship was so free, it was so expressive, and I could see myself doing this for the rest of my life. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. If God is calling you to become a priest, and I'm pretty sure that there's someone watching this who wants to become a priest, who is feeling that tug of the Lord on their heart. I've written him the blank check of my life, as Father Bob would say. I have given him control of my life without knowing what he's going to do with that. And there's a freedom in that, and it's really exciting to see. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of what you have to give up. Don't be afraid of your own imperfections. Don't be afraid of where God is going to send you, because God has a good plan for your life. And if he is calling you to the priesthood, go for it. Go for it. Give him permission. Write that blank check for God. Roll out the red carpet and say, Lord, whatever you want me to do, I'm going to do. And you'll be amazed at what he does with that.